Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today I'm going to show you what Vallejo's color shifting paints called the shifters look like on curved objects, both using the airbrush and by hand. Well, paintbrush. These are Space Dust, Galaxy Dust, and Magic Dust. All of the color shifting paints Vallejo currently has created. Comes in packs of 6. Each one are completely separate from the other. There are 18 different colors. So in my first video, I showed my first impressions of them, and in particular, I showed what they would look like. I still have it here. I showed what it would look like for flat surfaces. So if you want to see that, that would be great for tanks or terrain that have, flat walls and whatnot, and holes. If you want to see that video, it shall be linked right about there. If I'm good, and if I'm not, it'll be in the description below. Alright, these 6 are from the Galaxy Dust, so let's have a look. As you can see, the transition is not the same when you're using curved objects and not flat objects. Even these guys have a lot of texture to them, so they aren't showing off what a flat object would really look like. This color is dark green tin. I am doing my best, both through the videotape and through editing, to make certain that you see exactly the color of the paint as it would be seen in real life, so that you can use this as a good reference. This one is emerald green and mauve. It's a very pretty greenish blue color for the most part. And then in the indirect light, you can see all the pretty mauve, which is kind of like a purpley pink. See, I'm going to show these often. This one is green gold and cold blue. And this one is green silver blue. This one is light violet green. You will be seeing a lot more of one color than the other, as the main color is what is going to be seen, and then anytime you see an indirect color, if the light is not pointing directly at you, you're going to see the other color. And lastly, this one is turquoise violet. Definitely one of my favorites. As you can see, the turquoise comes out very easily, and the violet is only in the light that seems to point away from you. Now here is the magic dust, and the first one that we have is green, gold pale blue. All the golds, well, some of the golds are quite green. Oh, I've managed to catch the pale blue. This one is green, gold, yellow, and burnt orange. And this one is old silver and pale violet. Here we have pearl violet. And remember, you need to use a gloss black primer underneath to achieve this effect. This is silver pink. Really like this one. In most lighting it is completely silver. You can just see a tint of the pink. And this one is violet old copper. And in Space Dust, we have bright gold brown, electric blue, and intense violet. It's a very pretty metallic blue, isn't it? Here is green, blue, violet. Down here we have Old Gold Grey Violet. Here we have Orange Violet. And lastly, we have Red Gold. And that is for airbrushing. This was 2 layers of the black primer and 2 layers of the airbrush color shifting paint. 1 layer of the color shifting paint does look good as well. It just looks like a darker version of that, and that is what I'll show you now. Just a quick overview of what one looks like. As you can see, it has all the colors, it's just a mildly darker version. Have a tint of color, but be mostly shiny dark metal, which is quite nice as well. Here I have 2 things for you. I have what it's like when painted on, as well as what it would look like if you were painting it over white. So again, this is from Galaxy Dust. This one is the dark green tin. This one is the emerald green mauve. This one is green gold cold blue. The one who decided to start licking the ground. These were assembled by someone who had not really assembled before, so this one is the green silver blue. All of these also got two layers of the black primer as well as the gloss black primer and 2 layers of the color shifting paints. This one is light violet green. And this one is turquoise violet. Look how buggy that looks. Hey, where are you going? Get back here. Look how buggy. It's awesome. I like this one too. I don't know why. Kind of reminds me of, you know, that form the Terminator was in before he coalesced into human form. I don't know, something about the coloring of it reminds me of that metal. And now for magic dust, we've got gold pale blue. Gold pale blue. That's great. When I put on the first layer, I wasn't so certain, because it is definitely easier to paint these colors on with an airbrush instead of a paintbrush. And these guys like to froth up a little bit when you're using them with a paintbrush. But once they dry, I like them. This one is gold yellow with burnt orange. Now, as you can see with this one, the crevices are lighter than the main body. So you'd want, for anything that, this one in particular, the other ones are pretty good, you can't really tell. But this one, the crevices are lighter than the body, which isn't necessarily a bad look, but it is something to note that your crevices will be lighter than the body. On the other hand, that could give a pleasant glowing effect. And again, you see what the color would look like if it were just on white. That's what it would look like with a couple coats. This one is Old Silver Pale Violet. This one is the Pearl Violet. This one is the Silver Pink. Some may actually need 3 coats to get the effect. This one came out darker. But that's what 2 coats of it looks like. And this one is Violet Old Copper. And on the last row, we have our Space Dust ones, which start with bright gold brown, which does look really nice, I think. Tyranid. Looks pretty awesome in that color. This one was the Electric Blue Intense Violet. See how it looks? Mostly white on white, but you do have that pretty pearly effect. This one is Green Blue Violet. Pretty. This one is Old Gold Gray Violet. And this one is Orange Violet. This one is Red Gold. You might think that some come out better than others, but it shows how much variety you can have just with the one paint. And yes, I just use this medium shade brush to put on the colors on all of those guys. Alright, here are some of my tester models to answer some of the questions that people were asking. What does it look like with white? Well, here is one. I did this, where's that from? Space Dust. Old Gold Gray Violet on this one, and I only did one coat on the carapace. It was spray painted Wraithbone. And yeah, that's just one coat. It seems like some of them are not going to show up very much, but some of them will, and you can actually tell what it will look like based on the bottle itself. Now, here we have this one was Electric Blue Intense Violet. See that? That's what the Electric Blue Intense Violet looks on a wing. It's very... I don't know whether the camera can pick up all the pretty sparkles. It's very pretty. But on here, I put the Electric Blue Intense Violet followed by the Green Gold Cold Blue. So this one, this is what it originally looked like, Electric Blue with Intense Violet, and then over here it turned into Green Gold with Cold Blue on top. So if you put it on top, and they're similar colors, it seems like the top one erases the bottom one if you give it a complete coat. If you give it like half a coat, then you can use it to highlight. Like here is one that I did where it's very faintly, and so you can actually use other ones to highlight them, but you have to do it very gently. This is all using the airbrush. I haven't tried this out using the just paintbrush yet. This one, I used two very different colors. I used the intense blue, or the electric blue intense violet again, and I put this one, this bright yellow, on this wing. What I did, I put the electric blue down first, let that dry, and then I put a single layer of the yellow over top, and it got this effect, an interesting green. It's not really either of the colors, some sort of combination. And then I mixed the two together in the airbrush pot, and I did this one. And this is a different mix. See, this is greenish, one color on top of the other, looking more towards the top color than the bottom color. But this one is a combination of the two of them. So you can combine them to make entirely new colors. I wouldn't even know what this one would be called, but it's neither one of them. So there they are. So we learned over the while that flat surfaces take the paint differently than colored surfaces. Flat surfaces has this very distinct change from one color to the other as you rotate them. The curved surfaces, on the other hand, you can mostly see one color, but you can see the hints of the other color at all times. In the light, it's basically the reflected light. So here's my hand, and as you can see, this would be the direct light. You can see it directly, it's quite bright, and this is where you see the one color, and then you see the medium color of that, still the one color, and then however there's a reflected light that isn't the same. Say it's like this. See how it's very red now because of my hand, which is reflecting light off of it. And instead of it being the same color as in my hand, these guys, this reflected light is the opposite color because of their color shift, which makes it very interesting to look at. Also, the airbrush, they flow through the airbrush really nicely. You don't need to add anything to them. When I start, I spray through a tiny bit of airbrush thinner to wet the airbrush, and then I go at it exactly as they are. They are very smooth through the airbrush. You do not need to change them up at all, but you can brush them out and it looks pretty awesome. In most cases, I'd probably not do everything. I wouldn't do the whole thing brushed out. I did it here because I wanted to see the entire effect, get as much of their little bodies covered so you could see what it looked like. I think they look pretty awesome. The downside to them, if you consider that a downside, is that their crevices are going to be brighter than the rest of them, because the crevices is holding more of this very liquidy paint than anything else. But I can't see that being a bad thing. Maybe in one or two it looks kind of strange, and particularly the yellow one, it's so bright, but in some of them it gives it a very, very cool looking glow effect, particularly since the color in the crevices is the other color. The turquoise violet, for example. The turquoise violet, the direct light is the turquoise. In the crevices, all you see is the purple. I very much enjoyed it. If you had any more questions about these Vallejo shifter paints. I'm going through the works. I'm trying it all. And so you can just comment below if you have a particular favorite one. I'm curious, what is your favorite one? Do you like it best on the flat surfaces? Do you like it best on these curved objects? Do you like them best used when they are on white, or do you like them best used when they are just painted on? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, if you liked the video, please give us a like, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe to our channel, and I'll catch you later.